foot here we have tibialis anterior tendon. We've got extensor hallucis longus, extensor hallucis brevis, extensor digitorum longus, extensor digitorum brevis. Peroneus tertius is this one coming down here, and dorsal interossei. So those are the muscles you need to know on the top of the foot. As we work our way around the lateral aspect of the foot, we've got peroneus brevis coming to the fifth metatarsal, and peroneus longus crossing underneath the foot. So this one's brevis, this one's longus crossing underneath the foot. So those are the muscles you need to be able to identify in the foot. Up here in the anterior compartment, we've got the anterior tibial artery with the deep peroneal nerve. As it crosses over the ankle, we still call this the deep peroneal nerve that comes out here to innervate the skin between the first and second toes, but the artery changes names. The artery changes names from the anterior tibial artery to the dorsal pedal artery. Dorsal pedal artery is going to come down here, and you see right there where the dorsal pedal artery is splitting into the dorsal metatarsal artery and the deep plantar artery. So those are the only arteries you need to know on the top of the foot: dorsal pedal, dorsal metatarsal, and deep plantar. Nerves on the top of the foot. The main nerve on the top of the foot is the superficial peroneal or superficial fibular nerve, innervating a majority of the skin on the top of the foot, with the exception of the first and second toes, which is going to be the deep peroneal. So we've got superficial peroneal, we've got deep peroneal. As we come around the side here, coming around the lateral malleolus, you see this nerve here is the sural nerve. Sural nerve came down the calf, goes around the lateral malleolus, and innervates the skin on the lateral aspect of the ankle and foot. Way up here on the shin, up here will be the saphenous nerve, which will be traveling with the greater saphenous vein. I don't have any models of the saphenous nerve besides where it's way up with the femoral artery. So now we go to the bottom of the foot, and the bottom of the foot we look at in layers. Oh, that's handy. Layers on the bottom of the foot. First we're going to have the plantar fascia, and that's responsible for plantar fasciitis. This model is not showing plantar fascia. But we have three muscles in the first layer. Over here by the big toe, we have the abductor hallucis. Then we have flexor digitorum brevis. This is one of the only places in the body where a brevis is on top of a longus. Flexor digitorum brevis. And out here we have abductor digiti minimi. So abductor hallucis, flexor digitorum brevis, abductor digiti minimi. Second layer. This one actually gets unscrewed. There we go. Second layer, now we actually see the nerves and arteries. This is the posterior tibial artery and the tibial nerve. These are supplying the posterior compartment. So here's our calf muscles. Here's our three muscles passing the medial malleolus: tibialis posterior, flexor digitorum longus, and flexor hallucis longus, Tom, Dick, and Harry, coming around the medial malleolus with the posterior tibial artery and the tibial nerve. Posterior tibial artery and tibial nerve are going to split into a medial plantar nerve and artery and a lateral plantar nerve and artery. Coming off of these will be your common plantar digital nerves branching into your proper plantar digital nerves. Muscles on the second layer, we've got the tendon of flexor digitorum longus. Coming into flexor digitorum longus is the quadratus plantae muscle. Coming out of flexor digitorum longus are the lumbricals. We're also going to have the tendon of flexor hallucis longus here. So those are the muscles in the second layer of the foot. Third layer of the foot, underneath flexor hallucis longus, will be flexor hallucis brevis. Over here we're going to have flexor digiti minimi, and here we're going to have this muscle that is in the shape of a 7. This is the transverse head of the adductor hallucis. This is the oblique head of the adductor hallucis. As we move into our deepest layer here, removing these muscles, we have plantar interossei, which are going to adduct the digits together. Out here we have the long plantar ligament. Coming through the long plantar ligament from the lateral side and attaching to the first metatarsal is the peroneus longus or fibularis longus. It's going to evert the foot. So this is peroneus longus coming through the long plantar ligament. As we come more medially here, we've got the attachment of tibialis posterior, the attachment of tibialis anterior, and we go just underneath those, and this is the plantar calcaneonavicular ligament, also known as the spring ligament. So the spring ligament is going to be medial, the long plantar ligament is going to be more lateral. If we were to lift up the long plantar ligament, underneath there we would find the short plantar ligament. So on the deepest layer here, this is the deep plantar arch for an artery, but I'm not really going to get too much into the deep stuff of the foot, just the muscles. So transverse head of the adductor hallucis, plantar interossei, peroneus longus, long plantar ligament, tibialis posterior, tibialis anterior, and the spring ligament. That's it for foot.